This 1953 Massey Ferguson TO-30 has sat for over 30 years. And today, I'm gonna see if I can get it running and doing some work before sunset. Welcome back to Fix a Fool's Garage. Today, like I said, we're gonna be working on this post-World War II era Massey Ferguson. These things were commonly nicknamed the Little Gray Fergie, and today, we're gonna see if we can get this running and working before sunset. Now, I haven't looked at this too much, but I do know it is a 6-volt, and it does have the Z129 engine. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, and I'm pretty sure those engines are from Continental. I figured we'd throw a battery just in this right now so we could figure out where we need to start. The system is positive ground, so I think I do need to flip this battery around. We'll hook our negative lead up right here. For a traditional gasoline engine to run, we need 3 things. We need air, we need spark, we need fuel. So we're gonna start by seeing if this engine even turns over, and then we'll go through each of those to see what we need to fix. Now right here, this is our negative lead of our battery that goes down to our starter solenoid and our starter, because this is a positive ground system. But as you can see, our ground wire, which is our positive wire, is up here and it's going to nothing. So we need to figure out where this goes and get it somewhere. Now, okay, we got life. Let's see. Now what I'm about to do is I'm about to test if this thing will turn over with the screwdriver. I grabbed a button starter because there's a little rubber insert in the middle, keeping someone from doing this. My battery is very dead, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull these spark plugs and spray some penetrating oil in there, and then charge my battery. Alright, and I do have this 12-volt battery here. I'm gonna use to just bump the starter. Let's take a quick gander and see if this engine will budge by hand. Oh, yep, it will. Yeah, it's free. It's moving. That's its first time moving in probably 30 years though, so it's a little tired. But it's about to wake up. Oh, I'm already hearing compression. Alright, I'm gonna run home, charge my battery, and we'll be back.
2,000 years later.
We are back on the Massey Ferguson. It's been about 2 hours since I saw you last. I ate some lunch and I charged up that battery. But I was also out here messing around a little more. Now, factory, this tractor should come with a stock 6-volt system, but just like me, it's been upgraded to a 12-volt, I think, because you see, this looks more like an alternator, and the 6-volt systems don't necessarily work on alternators, but this looks like an alternator because it's more round and looks a little newer. I couldn't find any stampings on it, but also, you come around here, this coil isn't, the 6-volt coils are usually a little more stubby than this, and I've got some jumper cables hooked up to this battery, hooked up to the starter, and when doing the same thing with the 6-volt battery, I couldn't get this to happen. So I'm thinking this thing has been upgraded to 12 volts, but I can't entirely 100% tell. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw those spark plugs back in, I'm gonna get some of this mess out of the way, and then I think I'm going to hook up my 12-volt battery instead of my 6-volt battery, and we'll continue testing. Alright, all those spark plugs are in. Let's give it a little crank and see how it sounds. Sounds pretty good. Now that I'm 99% sure that this tractor is already converted to 12 volt, we have to put a new ignition in this because we don't have the key. So let's get this thing swapped over. And just like, boom, the ignition is done. It's in. And while I was wiring that ignition, I remembered something that I had researched. I remembered something very unique about this tractor, and that's the fact that it has a gear start shifter. This is very jerry-rigged right now, but what you do is you put your foot on the clutch, and it's all the way to your right. Push the clutch in, and it goes to start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray some starting fluid into the intake of the tractor and turn the ignition on, and let's see if we have any spark. And you see that? We've got spark, so let's hook up a fuel system. So now that we've got our ignition hooked up, we just gotta run a quick fuel line between these two bad boys, and I don't know if you can see anything in there, but the inside of this tank is flawless, so all we gotta do is hook this line up and connect them. Alright, now it's time to see if this fuel line will even hold this fuel with these hose clamps. So I'm going to get this ignition in here. I can't screw it in until I drill this hole out a little bit. So I'm gonna get this ignition in an okay spot and then slide the battery in. And then we're gonna put a little bit of gas in here and see what happens. We've got about 2 hours till sunset, so we got a little bit of time, but who knows what unforeseen issue may arise. I tweaked the fuel system a little. Just backfire. I think our timing's off. I'm gonna do some research on what the timing on this should be and then compare. I readjusted the firing order. Either I mixed two of the plug wires up or the person before me did, but now it's fixed, so I'm hoping this thing should just fire right off. Heck yeah, let's go. We freaking got it running. We got a runner right here. This Massey Ferguson TO-30 runs after 30 years, and we did it before sunset. But the real question is, are we gonna be able to get this thing moving before sunset? To answer that question, I don't know. There's a few things we gotta do if we wanna get it moving around before sunset. We gotta pull the truck over here, grab the generator, air up the tires, clean up the tools, and that's pretty much it. But that thing runs like great. I think maybe when I pulled the plug wires, I just got two of them mixed up, or maybe the person before me did, but to be honest, it wasn't that big of a deal. But that thing just lit off beautifully. And I'm thinking this is a 12-volt tractor, so we're gonna go ahead and button this all up, make it to where we can close this hood. We're gonna get this thing running. Alrighty, well, I topped it off with coolant, I got the hood closed, and now it's time to see if this thing will fire up, and we might even make that goal of getting this thing doing some tractor work before sundown, so let's try it. Flooding out. Carb is not happy. The updraft carbs are the worst carb, I think, ever. They're so simple, but they always leak like a sieve. Those float bowls always get stuck. So I'm gonna get this back in there and then go home, pull the carb off, clean it at home where I have a swamp cooler, come back, and hopefully that sun won't have gone behind that hill yet. So let's get this in there. After a carb rebuild, a little less sunlight, and a detour, we're gonna throw this back on here. We still have some sunlight, so there's still a chance of winning the challenge, but if not, we're just trying to get this thing running. So let's throw this carburetor back on, crank it over, and test it out. Oh, by the way, I'm surprised this tractor even ran with what was going on in here. The float was completely seized, the needle was completely seized. It was just carnage in there. The jets were clogged, so let's get this thing back. Huh?
The gasket?
The gasket was completely shredded, and I'm pretty sure it came out of the exhaust when I turned it over. But we're gonna get this thing in here. That may or may not work.
We might need to tap that carb if the float doesn't.
Huh?
Might need to tap the carb, I don't know. That's why that's a neutral switch thing.
Why, what's a neutral switch thing?
That's why that's a safety switch. It won't start. It's shooting flames out of the back of the carb is what it is. Rev it. Half choke.
Well, that's going to be it for today on this Massey Ferguson TO-30. This is a seriously cool tractor with some seriously advanced things for its time. I'm not done with this tractor. I will be back here getting it running better. Just a few things here and there. If you guys want to see that, let me know. This thing is a seriously cool John Deere mining tractor. And let me know if you guys want to see this thing run. The answer to your guys' question of will it run and do work before the sun sets is kinda. I mean, it plowed about 15 feet over there, but other than that, let me know what you guys thought about today's video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment all your thoughts down below. I'm Evan, and I'll see you guys all later on Fix It Fool's Garage. And that's Joe.